LSU or the field. And if you're a betting man, I would say take the field because it's college baseball and anything can happen. However, this LSU team, guys, it is fun to watch, and man, oh man, are they really good. The Maple Leaf Country, they're a bunch of cheaters. They are a bunch of cheaters. Now, I don't know if anybody has kept up with this, but in curling, Team Canada is flat out cheating. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hammy Show. This is the Daily Ham, where we come to you live every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night right here on TikTok and on Instagram at 6 p.m. We are the Hammy Show. I am your host, Hammy Culpepper, and we are presented by none other than First American Bank and Trust. First American is the best bank in the entire world, and we could not thank them enough for being the presenting sponsor, but for also doing so much more. In the Athens community, they are the best bank in the entire world, giving so much support financially to so many people around this community, and especially to me, man. They got me off of the ground. The Hammy Show LLC is alive and well, and we're taking this thing to the moon, and it would not be possible without First American Bank and Trust. So I wanted to shout them out real quick, but man, oh man, what a weekend we had in sports. College baseball is back. That headlines the Daily Ham episode 9 today. College baseball is very much back. And ladies and gentlemen, I could not be more fired up for the greatest show on dirt. The road to Omaha began this past Friday, and my oh my, it is going to be an absolutely hectic, wild, amazing season of college baseball. Let's start with some ham lines in the college baseball universe. That is, LSU is back. The defending national champs are really good, and they're really nasty, and they have a good pitching staff, and they have a strong lineup. They are, from top to bottom, I think the best team in the country. UCLA still holds that number one spot in most of the primary rankings, but LSU starts the season off 3-0 to continue their 14-game win streak. 14 games, you heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. Throughout their run in the postseason last year and to kick off the first weekend, opening weekend of the college baseball season in 2026, LSU is on a 14-game win streak. Unbelievable stuff from the Tigers. Jay Johnson is the best head coach in college baseball, and I think it's not even close. He is head and shoulders above the rest of the field. In-game manager, you won't find a better guy. Recruiter, you won't find a better guy. Figurehead of a program, which sounds maybe a little uncharacteristic of what you would want in a head coach, but you kind of have to have that in the landscape of college athletics today. Jay Johnson is that perfect figurehead in the Bayou, in LSU country. He has got the LSU people rallied around him. And, man, that LSU team is really fun to watch. They're going to be a hard out every single weekend in this college baseball season. In the SEC, they're going to run the table. It's going to be LSU or the field. And if you're a betting man, I would say take the field because it's college baseball and anything can happen. However, this LSU team, guys, it is fun to watch, and man, oh man, are they really good. Big news across college baseball as a 50,000-foot point of view perspective, if you will. It is the best it's ever been. Attendance records were shattered. Viewing records shattered for college baseball this opening weekend. At Duty Noble Field in Mississippi State, in Starkville, Mississippi, attendance record, 38,000 people. Over 38,000 people were in attendance this weekend for the opening weekend of Mississippi State baseball. Guys, if you're not on the college baseball train, hop on it because it is so entertaining, and you will not be able to stay in your seat watching this college baseball season. Mississippi State, really strong team, really strong outfit in the SEC. They're going to be a tough out for anybody who plays them. Much like LSU, they have a great pitching staff, but man, that lineup, they can hit it far and they can hit it hard. This Mississippi State team is scary in the SEC as well. But let's talk about the number one team in the country. That is the UCLA Bruins. According to most of these primary rankings in the college baseball season, or in the college baseball universe, Rock Chalowski is the best player in college baseball. He is probably a consensus 1-1 pick in the MLB draft come that time of year. He had an exceptional weekend. UCLA starts the season off 2-1. They dropped their Sunday game, but they won the series. So UCLA is still in the driver's seat among the rankings. But like I said, I think LSU is the best team in the country. Another really strong performance all weekend long was Georgia Tech. As much as it pains me to say, you see all these G's behind me, nothing finer in the land. Of course, the red and black runs this state, but Georgia Tech is a scary, scary baseball team. Drew Burress is one of the best players in college baseball. You got Rock Chalowski out of UCLA, Justin LeBron out of Alabama, and Drew Burress. Those are kind of your 1A, 1B, 1C guys. Drew Burress, an exceptional fielder, but man, he can hit the ball hard and far. He is going to be a problem throughout the ACC in the conference play for Georgia Tech. Drew Burress is, I think, third in the odds currently in the Golden Spikes running, but Drew Burress is on pace for an exceptional year. He knocks in a homer this weekend. We've got some news coming from the Hammy Show on the road that we'll get to in a little bit, but Georgia Tech, man, outscored Bowling Green this weekend 50-11 in 3 games. Insane. They're the highest-ranked ACC team among most of the primary rankings. They're the number 5 team in D1 baseball's rankings. Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets, are rolling in Atlanta right now, starting the season off 3-0. TCU, they're the biggest climber in the rankings. They move up 3 spots from number 10 to number 7. Huge performance from TCU. Probably the most entertaining college baseball from the weekend was the Shriners Classic in Arlington, Texas. They beat TCU. The Horned Frogs beat number 23 Vandy and number 7 Arkansas this weekend. Start the season off 3-0. TCU, man, they are a strong, strong team. Excuse me, they start off the season 2-1. They dropped their final game of the weekend to Oklahoma. But a victory over 2 ranked opponents in your first 2 games of the year. TCU's off to a hot start. Stroh-Snyder, he's their best player. He's in the Golden Spikes running. He's probably in that 7 to 10 range among odds. So keep your eye out for Stroh-Snyder throughout the season. TCU and the Horned Frogs will be a very fun team to watch. Climbing early in the season. That's hard to do. Most of these teams played some mid-major opponents in the opening weekend, but TCU starts it off in Arlington, Texas with that Shriners Classic. Some high-quality opponents, 2 very high-quality wins over 2 top 25 teams in Vanderbilt and Arkansas. So big-time performance from the Horned Frogs this weekend. The superstar of the weekend, that is Tice Armstrong out of Baylor. He ties an NCAA record, hitting 3 grand slams in a single game. Insane stuff. Earns Big 12 Newcomer of the Week for the Baylor Bears, Tice Armstrong. God, how is that possible? First of all, a grand slam, I want to talk about this for a second, because a grand slam is not skill. Yes, it takes skill to obviously hit a home run, but there's a major, major portion of this that goes to luck, and that is loading the bases before you get up to the plate. Loading the bases 3 different times and him stepping into the box and knocking 3 home runs. Insane stuff from Tice Armstrong. Very well-deserved Big 12 Newcomer of the Week. Hell of a start for him. His odds in the Golden Spikes market have shot up just because of this opening weekend. So he's your player of the weekend for sure. The biggest dropper in the rankings is Louisville. Louisville dropped 7 spots with a series loss to Michigan State. They dropped from number 7 to number 15. Number 8 to number 15. Louisville's one of those teams that was a really, really hot commodity coming into the year after their Omaha run last year, and they are right in the running. Still, it's just opening weekend, but a miserable performance losing to Michigan State. One was a run rule as well this past weekend, so tough outing for the Cards of Louisville. And finally, an unfortunate news from college baseball, and that is ESPN's coverage of college baseball is absolutely piss poor. So I'm going to compromise with you. Right here on the Hammy Show, we've got the best college baseball coverage, my friends. The Hammy Show is bringing you constant coverage of college baseball throughout the season, going to various college campuses, various college baseball stadiums. We're bringing you the best content because ESPN absolutely dropped the ball this weekend. On the app, you cannot add your team, your college, to your favorites at the top of the ESPN Score app. You cannot search college baseball. You have to go through every single score of every single game of every single weekend. It's terrible. It is awful. And then on the streaming side of things, you have to pay that extra money for ESPN Plus. We need to find a happy medium where we can get this college baseball on television screens for the general public to watch college baseball, because it is, like I said, the most electrifying sport. Let's go to the mailbag for a sec. I know we've got some college baseball stuff coming in. So dogs walking in. Oh, here we're talking college basketball. We'll get back to college basketball right there. What up, Hammy from All Dog? What up, All Dog? How we doing? We need coverage from Kudzu Hill from Misby. Guys, we have plenty of coverage coming from Kudzu Hill. We're going to get to the Hammy Show on the road. We've got some major announcements coming for you this weekend. We are going on the road, and we've got some fun stops along the way, including a little trip to Kudzu Hill. Maybe as soon as tomorrow. But we'll get to that. I want to stay focused on the ESPN thing. ESPN, the app, both the app and the streaming services, did such a poor job. Twitter, X.com, the everything app absolutely blew up. And everybody was tweeting at ESPN, you have got to get this fixed. Will we see movement? Will we see the needle move in college baseball coverage on ESPN? Probably not. Not at least in the middle of the season. Hopefully by the 2027 season. But guys, it is so terrible to follow college baseball on the ESPN app. If you've got an app that gives you college baseball updates and all that stuff, let me know, because I need that information. All Dog says ESPN is for small ballers. I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. ESPN, piss poor coverage of college baseball this weekend. But that is your major headline from the weekend here on the Daily Ham. College baseball is back, ladies and gentlemen, and it's absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. All right, let's go to golf. Let's hit the links. Let's hit the tee box. Let's drive some greens, hit some fairways. We go to the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, the first signature event of the 2026 PGA Tour season. Collin Morikawa is your winner. He is back in the winner's circle for the first time since the 2023 PGA Tour season when he won the Zozo Championship. Collin Morikawa finishes the weekend at 22 under, a stroke above a tied for second finish from Sepp Straka and, oh gosh, who was the other one? Minwoo Lee, I believe. Yeah, I think it was Minwoo Lee. We'll get back to that. But Collin Morikawa, huge congratulations, finally gets it done. He was on top of the world. We want to talk about Collin Morikawa for a sec. Collin Morikawa was on top of the world, finished number 2, I think, in the FedEx in the 2023 season. And he won the Open Championship in 2022. He was on top of the world, on top of the golf world, and has kind of fallen into the shadows, under the radar. But a huge win at the first signature event of the PGA Tour season. His first win since 2023 at the Zozo Championship. But I think everybody knows it. Scotty Scheffler is undisputed the best golfer in maybe since Tiger. I think that is largely agreed upon, that he is the best golfer since Tiger. He is dominating the game. He basically gave the field a 8-stroke lead. 8 strokes. Just gave him 8 strokes in the first 27 holes. And then on the back 9 on Friday, he absolutely turned it on. Puts himself right into the running, is tied for the lead with a hole to play this past weekend. He was a little too far back. Collin Morikawa, Sepp Straka, Minwoo Lee, they have kind of the guts and the glory to finish it out and finish just above him. But Scotty Scheffler finished tied for 4th at 20 under on the weekend after just dropping the ball in the first 27 holes. It was nuts what Scotty Scheffler did in the last 2 rounds and the back 9 of round 2. So Scotty Scheffler, still the number 1 golfer in the world, and it's not even close. All right, let's go to Winter Olympics. I have been following the Winter Olympics as much as I can. It's obviously a little harder to get into the time change of Milan and Cortina, Italy, to the East Coast time, Eastern Standard Time of the United States of America. It makes it tough for us Americans to stay locked in with the Winter Olympics. But hockey is back. Team USA, they play tomorrow night against the winner of Sweden versus Latvia in the quarterfinals. And they get through group play undefeated, securing the number 2 seed. Canada is, of course, your number 1 seed. But speaking of the Canadians, the Maple Leaf country, they're a bunch of cheaters. They are a bunch of cheaters. Now, I don't know if anybody has kept up with this, but in curling, Team Canada is flat out cheating. And Sweden, they called them. They called them on it. So curling, I want to give you a little backstory on curling. Curling's a gentleman's sport. There's no referees. There's some guys that can make some judgment calls when it comes down to it, but there's no referees. You call fouls. You call your own fouls. You don't call other team fouls. So it's a gentleman's sport. It's an honesty policy. And Sweden knew what was coming. They knew, they had some film that Canada had maybe been cheating. They were touching the granite too long. I'll get into that. So what Sweden did is at the green line, the hog line is what it's called, they set up a camera and they caught Canada actually keeping their hand on the granite for a little bit too long, past the hog line when you cannot touch it. So they called them on it. And Canada refused. They said F off, which is completely frowned upon in curling because, like I said, it's a gentleman's sport. So here's the science behind it. If you've ever watched curling, there's a little colored piece. It's either red or yellow, and it's got a little handle on top. It's almost like a broomstick. And on top, that's where you're supposed to hold it. You cannot touch the actual granite stone that slides on the ice. You can only touch that handle. Well, there's a sensor in that handle that after that green line, if your hand is on it, it's a penalty. So what Canada was doing is they were letting go of the handle in time, but his fingers were on the granite. So there's no sensors in the granite stone. In fact, he was, first of all, illegally touching the granite. Second of all, touching the actual curling stone after the green line. So Canada, bunch of cheaters. And I think it's a major, major development in country dynamics. And I will say this because Canada has always been Mr. Neutral. They have stayed out of global affairs, but Canada is cheating in the Olympics. A bad look for the Canadians. Bad. So I just wanted to note that. I know that was probably a little boring to hear the science of curling, but just want to keep you updated here on the Daily Ham because we're talking all ham lines here in the world of sports. Okay, next thing I want to talk about after I take this sip of water is the luge and the skeleton and the double luge. It is the stupidest sport, and I will say this. If you put a sack of concrete or a car crash test dummy on a luge, skeleton, sled, whatever they call it, I am convinced that they could finish within half a second of what a human is doing. Now, these people in the Olympics, they are within 0.05 of a second from a gold medal to a silver medal finish. But the luge and the skeleton, I'm telling you, there is no skill. The only reason these dudes are Olympians is because their parents were like, oh, I just really want you to be an Olympian. And they just said, oh, well, we can get you to be an Olympian if you just do the luge or the skeleton. Because nobody else in the world does the luge or the skeleton. I would bet 100% of the people viewing the Hammy Show have never seen, been in touch with, contacted a person who does the luge or skeleton. Anything involving the skeleton, I bet you have not seen it, heard of it, except for when it comes around in the Olympics. I haven't. I have not. So I'm convinced that these parents of these luge and skeleton athletes, if they are athletes, I'm sorry, I'm kind of dog cussing them, but if their parents were just more motivated, they're like, my son or daughter is going to be an Olympian. So let's just throw them on that because nobody else does it, and they'll automatically be like a top 10 person in the world in the luge or skeleton. So dumb. So dumb. I just had to get that off of my chest. But hockey, that's where we're at. Hockey is the saving grace of the Winter Olympics. I love the Winter Olympics, but hockey is where it's at. The U.S. has a chance to win gold for the first time since 1980 when the Miracle on Ice happened. Yes, we've all seen the movie, probably seen some documentaries on it. The greatest story in all of sports. It's up there. And the Team USA is the number 2 seed, second best odds to win gold. Canada leading the charge in the odds market to win gold. But Team USA, they start quarterfinals tomorrow against the winner of Sweden or Latvia. It's going to be awesome. Tune in tomorrow. All right, let's go to the NBA. Talking hoops. All-Star weekend this past weekend. We had the All-Star break. Ant-Man wins the All-Star game MVP. But the news surrounding Ant-Man is not just hoisting the MVP trophy. It is what he said after the game. Post-game, he goes up to Jalen Johnson, and it is caught on camera of him whispering in the ear of Jalen Johnson, "I can't wait to come home." So, my friends, is Ant-Man trying to return to Atlanta? That is, of course, his hometown. Does he want to be a Hawk in his NBA career? We shall see. We shall see. But how fun would it be to get the hometown hero, Ant-Man, back to the ATL? I love Anthony Edwards. He's obviously a Georgia Bulldog, probably my favorite basketball player in the NBA right now, and I'm a huge fan of his move. However, there is a major, major asterisk, whatever you want to call it, next to this. He just signed an extension of 5 years. He's in his second year of it. So we've got at least a while before we could see Anthony Edwards back in Atlanta. However, he's thrown it out there. He's thrown it out there. He's talked to Jalen Johnson, so we shall see what happens with Anthony Edwards. But the other major headline from the NBA this past weekend is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is back in the burnerverse. His Twitter burner accounts are firing, and it has been linked that a couple of accounts have been linked to him. And there are some questionable things said, talking crap about some players he used to play with, talking about players that he plays with currently on the Houston Rockets. It's a very weird situation, if true, if this actually is Kevin Durant's burner accounts. He's got some awkward conversations ahead of him. So All-Star Weekend has absolutely hit the fan. It is not fun to watch. The dunk contest is not fun to watch. The gauntlet, whatever, the game. At least Anthony Edwards played hard. I mean, we had a change in the format. It was Team USA versus the world, and Anthony Edwards actually tried, which was fun to watch, but nobody else really did. Jokic, Luka Doncic, they didn't care. They did not care one single bit. And the NBA All-Star Game has gone down the gutter, down the drain, down the toilet, whatever you want to call it. And it's unfortunate because an All-Star Game is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be an event where you get to see the best of the best compete, and it has absolutely gone south. But there is a proposal that is flying around, and I want to talk about it because I think it is awesome. It is, and this is I'm not getting political or anything, but it is the white versus black game. And call me crazy, but Nick Wright, who is a major ESPN reporter, said this past weekend going into the All-Star break, this should happen. This is the only way to save the NBA All-Star Game is do it white versus black. And I don't hate it. I actually really love it because for the majority of the recent history in the NBA, the black players have absolutely ruled the game. But there's enough European and Eastern European players between Luka, Joker, and you've got a few guys in Cooper Flag, Conk-Nipple, that could actually make this game pretty interesting. The question mark is, which team would Steph Curry play for? Who knows? I don't know. But just a thought to throw out there. Is this the way to save the NBA All-Star Game, a white versus black game? I think it'd be awesome. I think it would be absolutely electric. And I think it would be well received by the players, by the fans. I think it's not at all like throwing, shade on any race or anything. I think it's a fun, just theoretical thing to throw out there. And I think it could be a fun game for the NBA All-Star weekend. All right, let's talk bet of the day. Actually, first, let's talk college basketball this past weekend. Compared to the weekend prior, it had nothing on it. The weekend prior was one of the best college basketball weekends of all time. This past weekend, not super exciting, other than Arizona drops their second straight game. The Wildcats started the year off 23-0. They dropped a game on Big Monday to Kansas, and then come back Saturday, lose to number 16 Texas Tech. So after starting 23-0, they are 23-2. They dropped to number 4 in the AP poll. Michigan jumps up to number 1. But the Wolverines have a massive game, and we're going to get to it in the bet of the day coming up right here. So your bets of the day, the Rockets. Amidst all of this Kevin Durant drama and his Burnerverse and Twitter account, I'm taking the Rockets minus 2.5 at the Hornets. They go to Charlotte. I think Kevin Durant, I think Şengün. I love this Rockets team. I know they've been a little inconsistent. They haven't lived up to the hype maybe that we saw from them last year, but I think this Rockets team is exciting. I think they take it to Charlotte tonight in Charlotte. Then we go to college basketball. Number 1, Michigan at number 7, Purdue. The Wolverines travel to the Boilermakers, and the Boilermakers are home dogs. Plus 2.5. We are hammering Purdue plus 2.5. Love the Boilermakers. I think this college baseball season is too hectic, too crazy for something like this not to happen. Just as Arizona falls and Michigan gets the chance to be the number 1 team in the country, I think the Wolverines drop the ball and Purdue upsets Michigan. So you can really take a gamble and bet money line on it, but we're taking the Boilermakers plus 2.5 tonight, hosting number 1 Michigan. And finally, your third bet of the day is Kentucky minus 7.5. They host Georgia. Georgia has been on an abysmal downfall skid, whatever you want to call it. It has been awful to watch as a Georgia fan. We think the Wildcats in Rupp Arena are going to mollywop the Georgia Bulldogs. I am loving what Kentucky's doing. They're getting better as the season progresses, which is the point of college basketball. And you have one of the best home environments in all of college basketball in Rupp Arena. You've got the craziest fans to your back. I'm taking Kentucky minus 7.5, as much as it pains me to say. I would love to see the Dogs prove me wrong, but I think Kentucky gets a big win tonight, minus 7.5 over Georgia. Sorry to say it, but your athlete of the day, ladies and gentlemen, and then we're going to announce some things for the Hammy Show on the road, and we'll hop into the mailbag, go through these comments, because they have been blowing up tonight. The Daily Ham has some serious traction on this Tuesday afternoon. All right, your athlete of the day presented by the Vinyl Frontier. The Vinyl Frontier is the greatest record store in all of America. It's all about the experience. Go to Carrollton, Georgia, right there on the town square, the city of dreams off of I-20. Stop in the Vinyl Frontier and pick out any record on vinyl you could ever imagine. Throw it on the 8-track. Talk to the guys behind the desk. Listen to how they think. Listen to what they think about your music taste. And they will tell you that you can find any artist, any record that you want at the Vinyl Frontier. So if you can't get to the Vinyl Frontier in Carrollton, Georgia, visit them at thevinylfrontier.com and you will find any record on vinyl in the entire universe. That is the Vinyl Frontier. And this is your athlete of the day, none other than Jeremiah Love, the Notre Dame running back. He is off to the NFL. He will be probably the number 1 running back, RB1 taken in the NFL draft. But what a career it was for the Fighting Irish and Jeremiah Love. Love is in the air, ladies and gentlemen. It's Valentine's Day weekend, or it just was. We're still feeling the love in the air. There's hearts and heart balloons all over the place, so we got to talk a little love, a little Jeremiah love, if you will. We got some Taylor Swift love story playing behind him on the mixtape today. Jeremiah Love finishes his Notre Dame career with 2,882 rushing yards, 36 rushing touchdowns, 6.7 yards per carry. 6.7. That is an insane number coming from a 3-year back out of Notre Dame. And, of course, his longest touchdown in his Notre Dame career, a 98-yard touchdown on the opening play of scrimmage against Indiana in the first round of the college football playoff last year, the 2024-2025 season. Jeremiah Love, your athlete of the day, presented by the Vinyl Frontier. All right, we got some big announcements. Hammy Show on the road. We're hitting it big. Absolutely massive this week. Tomorrow, Wednesday at 3 p.m., we will be right here in Athens, Georgia at Foley Field on Kudzu Hill in Foley Field at the Georgia baseball game as they host USC Upstate. Georgia, the number 14 team in the country, according to D1 Baseball, got off to a hot start. 2 victories, a series win, a loss on Sunday, but this Georgia baseball team has Omaha in mind. Daniel Jackson, Colby Branch, Trey Phelps, Kenny Ishikawa, Volchko. This team is absolutely stacked. The number 1 transfer portal class coming into the year. Georgia baseball is on a heater, and they're looking for a trophy come the end of the season, and we're going to Foley Field to cover them dogs tomorrow. Then on Friday, we're right back at Foley Field. Sanford comes to town. Georgia baseball, Friday night, begins a 3-day series against Sanford. 3 p.m. on Friday. We will be there. We'll be talking ball. We'll be bringing you all the best content. This is the Hammy Show on the road. But this is just getting started. Because Saturday, unfortunately, we are going to Atlanta to watch Georgia Tech baseball. Georgia Tech is one of the best teams in the country, the number 5 team in the country, the highest ranked ACC baseball team. So we've got to get some content for the Yellow Jackets. We're going to get some scouting report on this Georgia Tech team because Georgia faces them in the regular season just once this year. But in a theoretical postseason run, an Athens regional, an Atlanta regional, an Athens super regional, an Atlanta super regional, those are in the cards. So we've got to scout out the in-state rival, Georgia Tech. We will be there on Saturday at high noon as the Yellow Jackets host Stony Brook. And finally, to cap off the Hammy Show on the road all-time weekend, we are going to, drumroll please, the Auto Trader 400 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Hammy Show on the road is attacking NASCAR. It was an electric weekend at Daytona this past weekend, and we're following it up with one of the best events on the NASCAR circuit, and that is the Auto Trader 400 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's going to be fantastic. We've got a whole squad from Athens rolling to Atlanta for the race. It's going to be awesome. Stay tuned on the Hammy Show, at The Hammy Show on Instagram, and at The Hammy Show on TikTok as well. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, the Hammy Show on the road is brought to you powered by Subaru. Hughes Subaru of Athens is powering the Hammy Show on the road. We would not be able to travel to all of these wonderful places across the United States of America if it wasn't for Hughes Subaru of Athens. I drive a 2019 Subaru Outback. Those 4 wheels have gotten me all across the United States of America during the college football season, through the college football playoff, and now, for the first time since the Peach Bowl, the Hammy Show is back on the road, taking on the all-time weekend. We got Georgia baseball tomorrow and Friday, and then we got Georgia Tech baseball on Saturday and some NASCAR on Sunday. So a huge, huge weekend for the Hammy Show on the road, powered by Hughes Subaru, our great friends. Thanks to Hughes Subaru, guys. All right, let's talk a little mailbag right here. Will Woodall 3 said, betting against the dogs is nuts, Hammy. Lock in. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am maybe the most superstitious person in the world. I put on my left sock first, then my right sock. I put on my left shoe, and then my right shoe. I wear the same pair of socks for Georgia football games. I wear the same outfit, the same boxers. I don't wash my socks. I wash my boxers. But I am superstitious. If I bet on the dogs, it is bound to lose. So I always bet against them. I don't always bet against them. But if I'm going to bet on a Georgia game, I bet against them so I can be happy either way. I either win money, or if Georgia wins in an upset, hey, I'm happy. I am very, very happy. So, yes, it is a little nuts, but there's my justification. Plus, I think Kentucky is going to absolutely kill this Georgia basketball team tonight at Rupp Arena. All right, I know we had some more comments. Cade Black 874, Hammy, do you think Georgia has any chance of making the NCAA playoffs? And do you think Georgia has a chance to win the College Baseball World Series? Cade, I think yes. And I'll tell you why. The key to a run in Omaha is a pitching staff. The past 2 years, Georgia has been a top 8 national seed. We hosted a super regional, getting through the Athens regional 2 years ago, lost to NC State, ending the season not getting a chance for an Omaha run. But come back 2024 or 2025 season, what do? We're a top 8 national seed. We have the Athens regional. We lose to Oklahoma State and to Duke. What happens? The run ends in Athens. We were teed up to host an Athens super regional, and we still couldn't do it. And you know why? Because we didn't have a pitching staff. All we could do was hit the long ball. We rode and died. That doesn't rhyme. That's not as fun. But we were ride or die with the long ball. We just hit home runs. And it's very confusing because Wes Johnson is a pitching guy. He's a pitching coach by trade. It's like a defensive coordinator becoming a head coach. His defense is going to be good. It's like Kirby Smart at Georgia for football. His defense has been historically good as a head coach because he has that defensive coordinator background. Wes Johnson was a pitching coach, and it has not translated to his head coaching. Georgia's pitching staff has been very, very shallow the past 2 seasons, and it has been a very offensively powered team. This year, thanks to the number 1 transfer portal class, Georgia got in some major, big-time commits across the country right here to Athens on the pitching side of things. Volchko, your Friday starter. He's the ace. Kenny Ishikawa, a 2-way player, a utility player. He can hit the long ball. He can play center field, but he is a weekend starter on the bump. Kenny Ishikawa, big-time name. Sunday, it's a little questionable right now who's going to be that eventual third starter. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, if we pitch by committee on Sundays, I think this Georgia baseball team will be fine. I think the offensive firepower is not going to take a step back. You've got a guy like Daniel Jackson. You've got a guy like Trey Phelps. They can hit the long ball. You've got some big-time hitters in Callaway and Oriak and Newman from the transfer portal. You've got a guy in Colby Branch who's the leader, can put the ball in play at any moment of a game. So you've got the offensive firepower, but the difference between this Georgia baseball team that I think will propel them to a Omaha run is the pitching staff, and it starts with Volchko and Ishikawa on the bump. So I'm excited about this Georgia baseball team. I think they can make a run for Omaha, and once you get to Omaha, man, anything can happen. That's the point of college baseball. So there's your little Georgia baseball snapshot of what's going on the diamond. Got a few more comments. Cole Johnson _lover. Cole Johnson could do it. I think you were talking about a little Tice Armstrong when we were visiting Baylor's heck of a performance from Armstrong as he hit 3 grand slams in a single game, tying an NCAA record. Cole Johnson could do it. I'm with you. I love it, Cole Johnson lover. That's good stuff. Insane. All right, we got some comments here on TikTok as well. From Bo Allen, we're talking about Dogs walking into Kentucky tonight, getting the upset. I don't agree. I think Georgia is about to lose big. It's going to suck. But I have no faith in this Georgia basketball team. I have put too much faith in it and had my heart absolutely thrown against a wall and shattered like glass. So I can't bet on the Dogs. I think they're going to lose tonight. I'm taking Kentucky -7.5. I think that's all we got here on TikTok. Don't want to scroll up too far because the finger is getting in the way of a camera. But, guys, that does it for the Daily Ham, episode 9. It's been a fun one. We will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. It might be a little later because we'll be at the Georgia baseball game. So I'll keep you posted on social media. But expect to see us. Join us on live here on Instagram and on TikTok. Follow us on those 2 platforms. Go to our YouTube page. We've got a big-time interview coming tomorrow, just announced on social media. We just interviewed Drake Bernstein, the Georgia women's head coach, just won the ITA National Indoor Championship. He is an absolute beast, a baller. He is a hell of a coach, breaking records as a young coach, just his 3rd year at the helm of the Georgia women's tennis program. We've got a big-time interview with him dropping tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. So go to our YouTube page. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that little bell if you want to get notified when we drop a video. But the Daily Ham is uploaded to there every single night after we record. So you can find us anywhere. We're all over the place. My whole life, I'm an open book, and it's all out there for the taking. So, guys, we really appreciate y'all hopping on this live, hopping on everything that y'all have been, everything that we've done, y'all have supported, and we do appreciate it to the moon and all the way back. So, thank you so much. I'm your host, Hammy Culpepper. This is the Daily Ham, episode 9, here on the Hammy Show, presented by none other than First American Bank and Trust. We'll see y'all tomorrow at Georgia Baseball, 3 p.m.